Hello, this is Mr. Griffith. On this past Saturday morning, which would have been August 11th, 2012, I put up a video after watching Deluxe Man's video about the firing of Brian Barry Josie, better known as Abraham Washington. I knew there would be some discussion about this firing, but, well, I was going to say wow, but I have to say, damn! I didn't expect the response that I got at all. And before I go on with this video, may I say thank you for responding to it. Even those that didn't quite agree with it, I say thank you. That has to be the quickest views and highest responses I ever got to any video of mine. But anyway, back to this video, this follow-up. May I also say the majority agrees that his firing was either wrong or a bit over the top. Even those that have defended, at least on my video, even those that have defended WWE's decision admits that firing him was a bit excessive. And for all the videos that I have seen on this topic, several of them have reminded me of situations, both scripted and in real life, that have occurred with WWE that I didn't mention in my original video or I even forgot about, where individuals that didn't get the same punishment or any punishment at all in their scenarios or real life situations were even worse than AW's, yet nothing of consequence happened. Now, before I get really into this, I recently found out through reports and other wrestling shooters on YouTube that what really got AEW fired was a tweet that he made that not only was supporting Linda McMahon's Senate run, but put up a hashtag saying, "Vote for Linda or die," or something to that effect. Now, WWE doesn't want any superstar mentioning the campaign on their Facebook or their Twitter pages. And to be honest, this isn't unusual for businesses with Facebook or Twitter pages, as a lot of times they don't want the people that work for them commenting on certain situations, even if it's in favor of the company. Now, what AEW did was worthy of a warning, a fine, or maybe even a suspension, if that was the case. But definitely not a firing, especially when it was in support of a campaign that, correct me if I'm wrong, Linda has already tried at least, I know of once, but many have reported twice, and has had her ass handed to her on a silver platter. That Vince McMahon has watered down his product, has spent millions of dollars. That's kind of catchy since that's the Prime Time Players' catchphrase. Millions of dollars, millions of dollars. But anyway, back to this subject. Has spent millions of dollars in support of and has caused his own company to suffer a loss. It was just reported not that long ago that Vince McMahon has lost a good chunk of money over the last year or so. I forgot how much exactly, but it was in the upper millions. Schleg Daddy, in a recent video on the Off the Rope show, said that if Linda McMahon wins this seat, WWE's watered down product is going to get worse. And I tend to agree. It probably will get worse if she wins. So, I never thought I'd pray for a candidate not to win a seat or whatever, but, oh, I hope to God she doesn't win that one. And on the subject of hypocrisy, and I will be repeating myself on a few of these since these subjects came up in my last video, but fuck it, it's my video, I can say what I want to. And I realize many of these things are scripted, but still, it shows the hypocrisy of WWE. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this stuff, especially you old school fans that have been watching WWE and wrestling in general for years and years. Isn't this the same company that saw in the 1980s the late great Macho Man Randy Savage implied domestic violence against the late Miss Elizabeth? That saw George, the Animal Steel, basically kidnap Elizabeth during a match with Savage on live TV, Saturday night's main event, basically commit a crime. This same company also saw Shawn Michaels as well as Triple H during their wilder days moon the camera on several occasions. This is the same company that also made a big deal whenever one of its divas would appear in Playboy. Rena Lesnar, better known as Sable and wife of Brock Lesnar, Chyna, Tori Wilson, Candice Michelle, Maria, and whoever else appeared in it. Now, I have to admit, me being a straight man, I didn't mind the appearances because I like women. But if I had kids watching this product, that's something I wouldn't want them to see, especially if they were young kids. That's not exactly family friendly. Now, isn't this also the same company that continued the card Over the Limit in May of 1999 after Owen Hart died from a fall from about 70 to 80 feet in the air from the ceiling? At the time, I will admit, I admit guilt to this. I did defend their decision to continue the card. Now, many years later, I've changed my viewpoint in saying that the card should have been stopped. I mean, that was the only decent and moral thing to do. I promise you that if an NBA player would have died on the court, or if an NFL player would have died on the field, not only would the game have been stopped, if they wouldn't have stopped the game, I guarantee you everyone from the common man on the street to ESPN would have condemned them for not stopping the game. Now, speaking of ESPN, I find it funny that they're criticizing WWE for Abraham Washington's comments, yet I remember in 1998, Stuart Scott made fun of the death of Sylvester Ritter, better known as the Junkyard Dog, for implying drugs and such in his automobile accident, when in fact, he fell asleep behind the wheel coming back from his then 18-year-old daughter's graduation from Tennessee to Charlotte, North Carolina. Something that could have happened to anyone. That same daughter, by the way, accepted his Hall of Fame induction back in 2004 at Madison Square Garden the night before WrestleMania 20. So ESPN, you might want to check your own past before you throw stones. Now, back to the WWE. This is the same company that forced Triple H to do a skit making love to a dead corpse, thus showing a crime which is commonly called necrophilia on national television. This is the same company that thought it was okay to use Matt Hardy's real-life drama with Edge and Lita as an angle. This is a company that fired Daniel Bryan for choking a ring attendant during the debut of Nexus in 2010. Yet weeks later, they have an angle where Nexus attacks Bret Hart, throws him into a limo, takes another vehicle, and rams into him while he's inside. Oh, you can't choke a ring attendant, scripted I might add, but you can ram someone while inside of a car? This is the same company who, the day after he murdered his second wife and youngest son, had a tribute to Chris Benoit, one of my former favorite wrestlers, when they may have known he may have done these things. Now, it isn't clear whether they knew or not prior to that show, but if they did, and they still did the show, they are as sick, if not sicker, than Chris was. This is the same company that had Edge and Lita practically get buck-ass naked on national television, simulating sexual intercourse in the middle of the ring. This is the same company whose owner himself, Vince McMahon, did the Kiss My Ass Club, where we had to look at his crusty, untailed, pale, white ass on national TV, which, as I said in my last video, we can see Vince's crusty ass, but we don't get a good look at Trish Stratus's behind in 2001, back when she had booty during The Rock's revenge angle on Vince McMahon, forcing people to kiss his behind. We can see Vince's, but we can't see Trish's. Ain't that some bullshit? But anyway, this is the same company who did an angle making fun of Mickie James's weight. I mean, Vicky Guerrero has come up a lot, but people forget they also did this with Mickie James as well. But as I was saying, this is the same company who did an angle making fun of Mickie James's weight, yet runs campaigns about not being a bully. Didn't they, not that long ago, during this whole build-up with Brock Lesnar and Triple H, do a two-faced thing where Stephanie McMahon came out and told Paul Heyman never to mention their kids, yet in the same breath, she runs down Paul Heyman and his kids? Hypocrite, shall we? And speaking of Mickie James, isn't this the same woman they fired from WWE in 2010, claiming she was doing things that violated policy? Yet John Cena was reportedly having an affair with this woman in late 2008 and possibly through early 2009, breaking her and Kenny Dykstra's engagement. And then when Cena broke off to marry his now soon-to-be ex-wife, Mickie was reportedly not happy about it. Now, may I say that Mickie is guilty here as well, because she should have kept her panties up and her legs closed, or at least broke up with Kenny first before giving Cena any booty. But my point is simply this: it is okay for someone to put someone in a demeaning angle that makes fun of body image, a problem that is related to bullying and that goes on in schools and college campuses and even businesses around the country, if not the world. But you don't reprimand one of your employees for behavior that could come back to haunt him, not only haunt him, but the company he works for as well. Sorry if I'm getting tongue-tied, but I'm a little excited and amped for this video. And by the way, it is also reported, well, it's claimed by Dykstra himself, or Kenny Doane, shall we say, that he not only took and screwed his woman, he also screwed him out of his push. Damn, if that is true. Now back to this. To put it in graphic detail, basically WWE is saying it is okay to make fun of someone's weight. And it is also okay to take someone's girlfriend or wife, bend them over willingly, not rape, willingly. Place your manhood inside her sweet sugar walls, desecrating another man's punana by not only sticking your pipe into her, but probably showering it with your seed as well. And yet you can make a tasteless joke and get fired without so much as a warning or suspension first? I know some people will listen to this video and say, well, this is old news. Besides that, most of that other stuff was scripted. Well, here's some recent examples. And two of them are in real life. Well, there's three examples I'm going to bring up. Two of them were real life. One of which I've already covered is Triple H and Lesnar. Here's another one. Heath Slater, and I was not even aware of this myself. Heath Slater at WrestleMania 27 was accused of rape in an Atlanta hotel either prior to that event or maybe even the night of WrestleMania 27. I'm not really sure. I can't really remember. But in any case, it made the paper down there. Yet WWE didn't even pull Slater off the card. They didn't even pull him off the TV afterwards until the situation was resolved. Most companies would have probably pulled Slater, maybe not fired him, but they probably would have pulled him off until they figured out what the situation was. They didn't even pull him off the TV. Most recently, John Cena was in an angle where he implied Eve Torres had STDs and branded her a hoeski. Yet just 1 week earlier, he was sucking face with the same woman. Does that make Cena a hoeski as well? Well, not according to WWE. Their hero can't be sold. He's above reproach. Whatever. And didn't CM Punk, in response to a fan on Twitter that wasn't in support of gay marriage, didn't he tell that fan to go kill himself? Oh, that's a proper thing for your number 2 guy. And WWE championed the boot to say he wasn't fired, he wasn't even suspended, reprimanded, or even fined. And didn't they allow Daniel Bryan, prior to her big push, to verbally abuse AJ Lee? Oh yeah, that was okay, but you can make a tasteless joke and get fired. I went through these examples to show you the hypocrisy right now of WWE. They fired Abraham Washington for first a tasteless joke, and now they're saying because he made a hashtag that was actually in support of Linda McMahon's sorry-ass campaign. Sorry if I seem emotional about this, but I just think this is bullshit. I really do. 2 or 3 days later, removed from my original video, I still think it's bullshit. Well, that's really all I got to say on this follow-up. Again, Thank you to the subscribers, and thank you to people that aren't even subscribed to me but saw my video. Thank you for viewing it. Thank you for listening to it, whether you agreed with me or disagreed with me. But this is a topic. Hey, nothing gets done unless there's a discussion, man. So I say to you fans, thank you. I'm out. Play the game, bring the pain.